What were you most shocked to find out was a practical effect and not CGI? Gladiator, they actually burned down that forest at the beginning of the movie. It was slated to be burnt down by the Forestry Commission anyway, so Ridley Scott did it for them, plus real tigers. Good Omens series, Neil Gaiman said he wondered how they were going to do the scene where the demon Crowley, played by David Tennant, drives a flaming Bentley to the site of the apocalypse. He was surprised to learn that they were planning to do it by putting David Tennant in a Bentley, setting it on fire, and having him drive it. There's a scene in The Prestige where Christian Bale rolls a coin along his knuckles, IIRC. It's while he's making out with his mistress, GF. I remember reading an interview with Hugh Jackman where he said that Christian practiced that for hours on end until he could do it, and he was super salty about the fact that everyone just assumed it was CGI. Ada, it was his wedding ring, not a coin. It's been a long time since I watched it and Hugh called it by its name, a griffin roll, as another commenter pointed out, hence the confusion. The door to the Chamber of Secrets with the snake circling it. The train wreck scene about halfway through Unstoppable where the locomotives they were trying to put in front of the runaway train flip over and explode. They actually crashed a real train for the scene and only used CGI to cover up the mechanism they rigged up to purposefully derail it and knock it over. Pretty much all of that movie is practical effects, and CGI was mostly just used to cover up cables and other rigging or to add in the fuel tanks that were stupidly built right next to the train tracks. Yeah, those aren't their IRL. Edit. Here's a YouTube link to the video showing how they did it. https://m.youtube.com/watch?v=pi8frs b42rc. In Prometheus, I always assume the engineer's reanimated head was CGI. Was blown away when I discovered it's really advanced puppetry. https://youtube.be/g1ibjext5va. Those classic Old Spice commercials with scene switches and Terry Crews, tons of practical effects and amazing effort. The truck flip from The Dark Knight. A lot of scenes in LOTR with hobbits around big folk. I always thought it was clever CGI for the most part, not clever cinematography and doubles, though some scenes are still CGI. The Crooked Man from The Conjuring 2 was not CGI. He is a real person named Javier Botet Lopez. He has a condition called Marfan syndrome that allows him to contort his body beyond normal human limits, and #X200B. Edit. For a better understanding, Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder that affects the body's connective tissue. The robots TARS and Case were built with a human moving them. The weightlessness in Apollo 13. Not CGI, not even wires. They built the spacecraft sets in a reduced gravity aircraft so they could film in actual weightlessness. It's incredibly difficult to do, as each period of weightlessness only lasts for 24 seconds and is preceded and followed by a period of 2gs. The original 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies had a lot less CGI than you'd expect. Some highlights: most of the boats were real boats on the water. The scene where they swing the bone cage above the ravine, real suspension, not a real ravine. The 3-way swordfight in the runaway watermill wheel. The parley scene with Davy Jones in a bucket on a sandbar. Saw the special features of one of the new movie. They've moved everything to CGI now. I was extremely disappointed. Daniel Day-Lewis as the butcher actually tapping his fake eye with a knife. He practiced it in secret, so when he did it during filming, everyone was freaked the fluff out. A huge portion of Mad Max: Fury Road https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=ocvcm348moy was practical effects. The cars all being functional and all the crashes being real was one thing, but having the guys actually swaying around on the poles is another beast altogether. The costume for Swamp Thing looked so impressive I thought it had to be CGI. Really shocked when I found out it was all practical effects. Late to the party as always, but there's a scene in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies where a giant centipede crawls out of a girl's mouth. That was a real centipede crawling out of her mouth for real. I read somewhere that they originally wanted 3, but the actress would only agree to 1. Still, the original Jurassic Park movie. I guess that's not exactly a practical effect, but that fluffing T-Rex eye is something I think about pretty often. Apparently almost no CGI in Elf, just super clever depth tricks. Late to the party, but that scene in the New It when Pennywise is talking to Georgie and he zones out, then his eye goes all loopy, like his right eye just gives up and walks away. Bill Skarsgård can actually do that. In the Silent Hill movie, the effect for the weird movement of the nurses was achieved by having the actresses walk backwards and then reversing the film, so it looked like clunky, awkward forward walking. The hallway fight scene with altered gravity in Inception. I honestly thought they were on a green screen with some 3D effects, turns out it was a rotating corridor. https://youtube.be/junbvkgzcdc?t=319. Wallace and Gromit. Honestly, it's really cool how they used clay and freeze frame to such detail. Basically all of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the animation was painted right onto the film, and if the toons interacted with real items it was done with a practical effect, like the penguins carrying drinks at the club. The penguins were painted over the apparatuses carrying the drinks. I know it's kind of obvious due to the time it was made, CGI wasn't really a thing, but when I watched the audio commentary they explained how they pulled everything off, and I was really impressed because I had never thought about it before. I assumed the train in The Fugitive was a model rather than CGI, but it was actually a real train. The podracing crowd in The Phantom Menace was a fluffload of colored Q-tips being blown around by a fan. https://imager.com/maloracf.jpg https://imager.com/tqxram.jpg. That Tom Cruise actually did the halo jump several times in Mission Impossible, Fallout, but more so that the cinematographer jumped out with him backwards. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=g_sfuxhc1w https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=g_sfuxx1w. It's mind-blowing that all the orcs you see in the Lord of the Rings trilogy are actual actors that went through hours of exhausting makeup and prosthetics work. Just goes to show how revolutionary this movie is even after all these years. The scene https://youtube.be/jatlo3hutya from Spider-Man where he catches Majay's lunch. It wasn't CGI and IIRC, it took him over 150 tries. The part I'm Saving Private Ryan where the Germans jumped out of the bunker on fire. Something that is CGI but you think it wouldn't be. When C-3PO is unfinished in Anakin's room in The Phantom Menace, you can see through his head and parts of his body, so it can't be a suit. It's actually a puppet that is controlled by a guy standing directly behind, and they just CGI him out of the shot. The pizza in Breaking Bad, one try. https://youtube.be/k_gbfmtpf6e@. To my recollection, the pizza was meant to be thrown on the roof that way and some kind of complex mechanism was set up to enable it to happen, but they did not in any way, shape, or form expect it to work the very first try. Also, I believe they did a bunch of retakes but it never worked again. Also, now I want pizza. Nobody said Emily Rose? The actress that played Emily in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Jennifer Carpenter, saw the mannequin they were going to use for the contortion scenes, and basically went, "I can do that," and then did. They never shot the mannequin. The mother robot from I Am Mother. Probably not the most shocking but one that I really loved learning how they did it was the little powder to bread thing when Rey is eating in The Force Awakens. Riding horses in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, so realistic. Definitively the cornfield scene of Interstellar. The director, Nolan, just planted the field for the movie, Dom. In the film, Moon, https://www.imdb.com/title/tt118235/. The clone of Sam Rockwell's character was not played by Sam Rockwell, with their interactions accomplished by special filming techniques. I'm not sure if CGI would be the right term here, but was instead played by a guy who looked like Sam Rockwell. https://www.imdb.com/name/nm293313/ref_ref_t10 . That massively long take with the car being ambushed in Children of Men. I had a really long discussion with a really good friend years ago about this film. I had just seen it not knowing what to expect and I was amazed by it, the breadth of the story and the amazing acting and cinematography. When I told Robin to go see it he dismissed me by saying, "I don't like seeing war movies." On one hand I could understand his attitude as he was a war veteran who had fought in Cyprus or as he put it tried to hold the peace and got wounded there. On the other hand he was a renowned crossbow maker and archer, so there's that conundrum. I got him to go see it because of that beautiful shot of that guy standing in that huge bay window looking over the Battersea Power Station towers with the Pink Floyd pig floating amongst them, and I was just awestruck by this dichotomy. He eventually did go and see it, and we actually sat down for a few hours and had a few drinks while things were quiet at his house. I think that conversation with him was one of the best ones I had ever had with them. He was a family friend for 20 years at that point, and I knew him through my aunt and uncle. But I didn't really understand him all that well, and he could probably say the same about me. We only had a few more years to share after that, which is a pity that we really didn't get to know each other until very late in our relationship.